Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into part of adoption's history, specifically one person who played a massive role in shaping how adoption looks today. Charles Loring Brace. If you're an adoptee, understanding his story can give a lot of insight into why adoption still has some deep-rooted issues around identity, loss, and belonging. Charles Loring Brace was a minister and social reformer born in 1826. In the mid-1800s, New York City had a growing population of homeless children, often referred to as street urchins. These kids lived in extreme poverty, and many ended up begging or committing petty crimes just to survive. Brace believed these children needed to be saved from the dangers of the city life. In 1853, he founded the Children's Aid Society, which aimed to provide food, shelter, and opportunities for poor children. But his most famous and controversial idea was the orphan train movement. Between 1854 and 1929, Brace and his organization relocated over 200,000 children from New York and other urban areas to rural families across the United States. The idea was that hard work and rural upbringing would give these kids a better future. However, many of these placements were informal. There wasn't a legal adoption process like we know today. Kids were often seen as free labor for farms. Some were treated well, but others faced neglect or abuse, with no system in place to protect them. Brace's approach also had another lasting impact. He believed that immigrant cultures, particularly Irish, Italian, and Catholic families, were inferior. His goal wasn't just to help poor children. It was to assimilate them into what he saw as more respectable Anglo-American culture. Does this sound familiar? That mindset that children need to be rescued from poverty or certain cultural backgrounds still exist in some adoption narratives today. This is especially true in transracial and international adoptions, where adoptees are often grow up disconnected from their birth cultures. So why should we as adoptees or allies care about Charles Loring Brace? Because his legacy still influences adoption today. The idea that adoption is about saving children rather than preserving families or respecting cultural identities can leave adoptees feel like they don't fully belong anywhere. If you're an adoptee struggling with identity, you are not alone. Understanding this history can help explain why adoptees often experience disenfranchised grief, a kind of grief that isn't always recognized by society. If you want to learn more about Charles Loring Brace and the history of adoption, here are some great resources. Number one, the Children's Aid Society website. It details the history of the orphan train movement. Number two is The Orphan Trains Placing Out in America, written by Marilyn Irvin Holt. It's a detailed book about the orphan train movement. Number three, there's adoptee-centric support groups like Adoptee Rights Coalition and Adoptees Connect that can help you process your own experience. So that's a brief overview of Charles Loring Brace, a man whose ideas shaped the history of adoption for better or for worse. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, share it with anybody you think it might help. Thank you for watching, and remember, I see you, your story matters, your experience is valid. Love you guys, I'll see you in the next video.